everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can see from the title of this video, you're gonna be in the background.
Oh, I'm in it?
Yes. You, Gigi, and Bijou. Yes. As you can see from the title of this video, this is going to be what me and my 9-month-old, here she is, eat in a day. This video is a long time coming. Miss Girl finally is eating, oh, I'm about to be out of battery, but she's consistently eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like sometimes a snack. So I thought this video would finally be helpful. I'm gonna share as many like baby-led weaning products as possible. If you don't have a baby, this video will still be helpful because I'm gonna share what I eat too. As a breastfeeding mom, I work out like 4 to 6 times a week. I need to charge my camera for a bit first. All right, I'm filming on my phone because, as I said, my camera died. So I'm making a little post-workout smoothie. I went to, sorry you can only see like my boobs in the food, but I felt like this is what you needed to see. I went to Pilates this morning at 6 a.m. If I'm working out anytime before like, let's say 8, 9, which is generally, I generally work out at like 6, 7. I don't eat anything beforehand. The only thing I have usually is just some form of caffeine. This morning I just had some green tea with a little bit of honey. I've been liking that lately because the green tea I use I think only has like 30 milligrams of caffeine, and so then I feel comfortable having a little bit more caffeine later. If you keep up with my Instagram, you know how I feel about having too much caffeine with Jude because I just believe that like she doesn't sleep as well. But yeah, I definitely get hungry pretty close to after my workout, and so that's why I'm making the smoothie. And then I will be sipping on this kind of throughout the morning. And what I've been doing is actually having my breakfast once Jude goes down for her morning nap. So for this smoothie, I'm putting some whole milk Greek yogurt, just plain. If it was just for me, I would do fat-free personally, but because of Jude, I buy whole milk yogurt now. And then I'm putting in some frozen pineapple, about maybe half a cup. Then I'm doing some frozen mango, probably also about a half a cup. When I'm making a smoothie, my goal is to always do some kind of protein, fat, and then like fruit to make it taste good. The fruit always varies. Try to always add some kind of green. I'll usually do spinach. Sometimes I'll do kale. Spinach especially, you can pack it in there. You're not gonna taste it, really just like stuff it in. I've probably used about like a cup of spinach and you're not gonna be able to taste it. When I'm doing kale, I don't do as much. I feel like kale has a stronger flavor. And then I always do some kind of liquid. Today I'm doing the strawberry guava juice because Corey got this for me probably a few weeks ago now, and I kind of forgot about it, and I just want to use it up, and I feel like it will taste good in the smoothie. So I'm doing probably like a cup of that. Sometimes I'll do like coconut milk is really good in smoothies, depending on what fruit you use. Sometimes I'll do coconut water. My general go-to is actually almond milk or cashew milk. Oh my. And today the yogurt acts as the protein and fat because it's whole milk Greek yogurt. And here is my smoothie, and Shiloh contemplating she's gonna go upstairs. Now it is time to make Miss Gertie's breakfast. I don't know why the camera is coming up as blue. You got hiccups, girl? You want some of this? I'm gonna give her some freeze-dried peach slices while I make her breakfast. I just break them up like this. She's like, who are you talking to? Ignore my shoes in the background. And then she just picks them up while I'm making her food and works on her pincer grasp. And these like melt. Oh, it's on your chin. These like melt in your mouth, so I'm comfortable with her eating those, but I always turn her high chair towards like where I'm going to be. This little placemat cover is from Yeah Baby Goods. I'd highly recommend. The high chair is from IKEA. The footrest and these leg wraps are also from Yeah Baby Goods. This IKEA high chair is so cheap. I think it's like less than $20. Then if you add the little Yeah Baby Good things, it still ends up being like less than $50, but just makes it look a little bit better. And then this cushion that Jude is sitting on, which gives her a little bit more support and more comfy, is also from Yeah Baby Goods. And the cushion cover also from Yeah Baby Goods. I pulled these out to show you different freeze-dried fruit that I'll give her. So I'll give her these strawberry ones, which are a little bit more messy, just to be aware of. And then these blueberries, it takes a little bit longer to give to her because like I have to use a knife and cut them in half because they are whole. And she's already done with what she got, so I'm gonna give her a few more and get going on her breakfast. These are all the ingredients you need for the baby spinach pancakes. The spinach is optional. It's just a good way to get in some iron for Miss Girly. And again, you just can't taste spinach at things. Yes, she's eating her peaches. So I'm gonna do about half a cup of oats, and everything's going in the blender. Half a cup of oats, half a banana. I'm gonna do about a 1/4 cup of oat milk, 1 egg, a little dash of cinnamon, I'm not focusing, and then like a handful of spinach. Alrighty, let me brighten the screen a bit. This is Miss Girl's breakfast. She has 3 of the baby spinach pancakes, some almond butter, she's trying to reach for it, almond butter mixed with some chia seeds and some smashed blueberries. You wanna try pancake first? Pancakes are still a little bit warm, so I'm gonna give her some blueberries. Also, I guess while she's eating her blueberries, before you make this recipe, make sure you've introduced egg to your baby first. Egg is one of the big 8 allergens. Anytime you're introducing, she loves blueberries. She gobbles them down. Anytime you're introducing, there's 8 common allergens called the big 8, and then I always add sesame because there's a lot of food organizations pushing for sesame to be added because it is a common allergy. But anytime you're introducing an allergen to your baby, you want to introduce it separately. So for example, if I had to introduce egg or nuts to Miss Girl, I wouldn't do this meal together because if she were to have an allergic reaction, I would have no idea which one it was an allergic reaction to. Yes. So instead you want to introduce the one allergen separately, wait a few hours, see if there's any reaction. If there's no reaction, maybe introduce it again the next day or the day after that. And then from then on, you want to make sure to give, if there's no reaction, you want to make sure to give that same allergen to your baby at least 2 times a week, because the way allergies, and obviously speak to your baby's pediatrician for all this, I'm just giving the knowledge I know that I've gotten from my own research and from speaking with Jude's pediatrician. But the way allergens present themselves if your baby does not have an allergy to a food immediately is if you introduce the food and then you don't give it to your baby for like weeks. So you want to be sure that you're giving those allergens over and over. Yes. And most pediatricians will recommend that you introduce all the big 8 allergens before a baby's first year, because that's also makes it less likely that they'll develop an allergy. Let's give her a pancake now. And then I have to go flip the ones that are still cooking. Are you hungry, baby, today? She loves them. If you are not comfortable giving your baby a full pancake, you could always just cut these in little strips, like the size of 2 fingers together. It's yumma. You could cut them. You need another one? But we've been doing baby-led weaning since Jude was like a week or so short of 6 months, so I'm pretty comfortable giving her most foods at this point. A really good app to use is called Solid Starts. They also have an Instagram. I'd really recommend them for knowing like what foods to give, what foods to hold off on, how to serve foods to your baby. Since she's still learning dipping, what I'll also do for the almond butter, if I don't mix it in something, I'll just put a little in a spoon and let her pick it up. Hopefully you can hear me. Jude went down for her morning nap about 20 minutes ago, and this is my breakfast. I still have a little bit of my smoothie left. I recorded me making this, but I know it doesn't look that appetizing, but it's so good. I was inspired by this Banana Foster's GSC pudding I used to get at the farmer's market. The stand that sells it hasn't been there for the past few weeks, so I decided to just make a riff of it at home. It's pretty much just like chia seed pudding with banana dates and maple syrup, and then I add almond butter just to add a little bit more like creaminess and fats and protein. It tastes kind of just like, I would say it mostly tastes like banana bread. They're calling it a bananas Foster's because they blend up the dates with the maple syrup, I think. So I'm gonna sit and eat this. It's noon. Jude is back in her high chair and she's having a little snacky. She's having some frozen mango in her little like net feeder thing. We'll zoom up on it. She did get up around 11:30 and then she had milk and then we hung out for a bit. I'm not gonna share every time she breastfeeds, but she breastfeeds from like 6 to 10 times a day, always at least 6, but I'm also home with her. So like if she wants just like a random feed, random comfort feed, I allow her. So she feeds on demand, and then sometimes she'll have a bottle as well. I'm gonna link one from Amazon because I recently found that they have a bunch on Amazon that are cheaper than this one I have. It's from Moss and Fawn, which I think is great, but if you can get the same thing from Amazon, fine. I think it's great, one, to keep your baby busy while you're making food. It's just a nice little snack. 2, if you're not comfortable with baby-led weaning yet, this is a good way to introduce some foods to your babies. And the way it works is that as they gnaw on it, a little bit of the food will come through. My camera ran out of room. But yeah, a little bit of the food will come through, and I think it's particularly good with frozen food because it takes longer. Also, Jude's pediatrician recently told us that the netting also helps their teeth come out with less pain. While she snacks on that, I'm actually gonna make a coffee. I napped for about like 30 minutes while she was napping actually. So I'm gonna get ice. I feel like you know, do I need to show you how to make my coffee? Probably not, okay. Told you I wasn't gonna show you how to make my coffee, but it appears I am. We have an espresso. I basically only like lattes if I'm gonna have a coffee. I don't remember the last time I ever just had coffee and then just added like some cream or something. And I 100% won't drink black coffee. I just don't like it. Just fill one of these Weck jars, basically all the way full with ice. And then I add a little bit of this, let me show you, this non-dairy oat milk creamer from Trader Joe's, the brown sugar one. It's so good. And then I actually foam up some milk in this, which I'll link down below. It's really nice because you can steam like hot milk, and then you can also like foam cold milk, and it has even different levels of like how much foam you get. And lately I've been actually mixing oat milk with almond milk for my coffee, and it's super good. So an espresso's coming through. Let me get a little glass straw. So you're allowed to elevate your drink, make you feel special. Ooh, it looks good already. Sometimes I'll do the milk first, and then sometimes I do an espresso first. Sometimes I do the creamer. Just depends how I'm feeling. And then pour the foam milk over. Oh my. You can't even see the top, but I'm gonna show you. Look at that foam. Keep in mind, this is also plant-based dairy, and this machine foams it that much. Yum. We are back for lunchtime. This is what Jude girl is having. I'm gonna actually give her some so I can talk. Here you go, Miss Girl. She has some English muffin with, we use the Food for Life, like Ezekiel brand, with some hummus and hemp seeds. Then she has some orange tomato. Normally I give her wedges of tomato, but I want to switch it up today and give her like little bite-sized pieces to work on her pincer grasp. And then she has some hard-boiled egg, but she's never had a hard-boiled egg before. This is like half an egg. I'm not sure how much of it she'll eat or if she'll like it. I think I spoke about during breakfast that she's not a big egg fan, so usually I just like mix it into things. But lately she's been liking it, so I don't know. A tip for baby-led weaning is that like anytime, if they don't like a food, try and give it to them again in a different preparation or just a different day, because think about it yourself. I'm just talking and looking at the food. Think about yourself, like you don't want the same food every day, so I assume that babies also don't want the same food every day. So if you give them something, they don't like it or they don't eat it, don't assume that they don't like it. They may just not want it that day, or they want it prepared a different way. The same way that you probably like some foods prepared one way but not the other. So always try foods more than once. I would say even more than like 3 times before deciding that your baby doesn't like it. A lot of the foods that Jude now loves, she didn't like to begin with. Like she didn't like blueberries, she didn't like rice. And then this is my version of Jude's lunch. Same ingredients, just a little different. So mine is also English muffin with hummus. I don't have hemp seeds because I have more egg than her, so it's enough protein. And then I have everything but the bagel seasoning on top. did I say tomatoes? Tomatoes, and then balsamic glaze, and also some hard-boiled eggs. And she is loving that English muffin. I keep saying I'm gonna link things, but I'm trying to make this video as helpful as possible. These are some little microfiber towels I got from Amazon. They come in a set of 12, and I try to use these for like our countertops. Then once I'm done, I'll use it for the floor. That's why that one's on the floor. Just to kind of reduce our use of paper towels. With baby-led weaning, a lot of food goes on the floor, and a lot of food gets on the counter and things. If we use paper towels for everything, I just feel like it's wasteful. Not even for just money-wise, but for environment. And I just rather not be doing that. So I try to use these. We're not perfect. We still use paper towels. We're trying to get better. I think these are really good to have. And it's nice that it comes in a set of 12 because I won't run through all of them by the time I do laundry. So I just kind of always have them. For dinner, we have one of our go-tos if you follow me on Instagram, General Tso's tofu and broccoli, rice. This was actually left over from yesterday because I knew we were having this meal today, so I made enough rice for last night's dinner and tonight's. Little hack, make your life easier. This girl has rice balls, some broccoli, and tofu. Same exact thing as me, just without the General Tso sauce and sesame seeds. And Corey's the same thing as me, who hasn't been in the video, but now he's making an appearance. Were you in the video earlier? Actually, you were, probably with Gigi. And here's a hungry baby.
Here's what?
A hungry baby.
Oh, he's an auntie baby.
Gonna have some of this tea while I edit this video, and then once I'm getting actually ready for bed, I'm gonna have some sleepy time tea, and I mix, well I should say Corey, because he always makes my sleepy time tea for me. He mixes this in for me, which this has really helped me be able to go back to sleep if I have to wake up in the middle of the night with Gigi Girly. And then I think for a snack, my bedtime snack, I'm gonna mix some of this with some of this trail mix. And this is gonna be my little bedtime snack. Lesser evil popcorn. It's super good. If you like a touch of coconut, you'll love it. And because it's coconut oil, it's actually a little sweet. And then I just sprinkle a little bit of that trail mix on top. It's a perfect snack with a touch of sweetness at the end of the night. Before I close out the video, I want to talk about some pros and cons for baby-led weaning. I wrote down a little list. A few of the pros I have is that it promotes a lot of self-regulation, so babies can decide how much and what of they want to eat. If she doesn't want something, I'll switch to another food that's on her plate, and then she makes it clear she doesn't want to eat something because she'll just go and brush it away from her placemat. So yeah, it gives her more power over what she eats versus if you're just spoon feeding a baby and you have one little thing of baby food that's spinach and carrot puree and you're like, eat it, eat it, eat it. Another pro, Jude is basically, and your baby will basically be eating variations of the food that you're eating. So it cuts down on how many foods you're making, and I feel like overall will save you time. And then another pro with that is that your baby ends up trying a lot of new foods a lot sooner than I think if you're sticking with purees, especially store-bought purees. I feel like there's only so many purees sold on the market. You see kind of the same basic ones like apple, strawberry banana, spinach, carrots, mashed potatoes, peas. I will actually pop up a list of all the foods Jude has tried, and she is, it's the 20th. She's 9 months and a week, so she's really tried, and she's only been eating from when she was a week short of 6 months. So basically she's been eating for 3 months, and she's tried a lot of foods, and I feel more foods than even maybe some adults have tried. Last two pros I have is that babies will learn their own mouth quicker, and because they're kind of moving food around in their mouth, and they get kind of a sensory experience with food when it's in actual chunks and wholes like we eat. And then the last pro is that you end up probably eating healthier because you want to feed your baby healthy. Obviously this depends on the family, but something I was speaking about with Jude's pediatrician is that she was talking about how a lot of the baby foods on the market today have all these things in it, these preservatives, these things that aren't actual like whole foods. And if you look at studies and rates of just diseases, especially in young kids, there definitely is a correlation with the way our food is becoming more processed, and then the list of diseases that are going up. And she was just talking about how like she will not push parents to do baby-led weaning because obviously it's up to you. But if a parent asks like, what do you think, she'll say like, I think it's a much better idea to go with baby-led weaning, especially if you're making sure that you're eating actual whole foods. I do also say that with a caveat of knowing that it is a blessing to have access and the ability to make healthy food, and I don't take that for granted at all. It is something I'm grateful for and try to acknowledge how grateful I am for it every day. I don't have as many cons as pros, and this should go without saying because obviously I chose to do baby-led weaning. So I clearly found more pros than cons. It's a confirmation bias is what it's called. The cons I have are that it's very messy, a lot more messy as opposed to like spoon feeding your baby. It honestly doesn't take too long to clean. Depending on the meal, it can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to clean up. And a little tip, especially if you're a stay-at-home parent and like the other parent or partner or whatever is working, try to reserve the messiest meals for when both of you can help and clean. So for me, during the day when I'm cleaning up by myself, I am just like a little bit more constant of what I'm giving Jude. If it's going to make a huge mess, I'm like, maybe not for today. But at dinner time, I'm just kind of like, okay, it doesn't matter because at least it'll be Corey and I cleaning up. The other con I have is that gagging is very scary and very common with baby-led weaning, especially I would say first month or so when you're starting. Jude doesn't really gag that often now. It still happens every once in a while, but we're definitely used to it and we trust her a lot more, so it's not nearly as scary. And I will say, I think you get less afraid of the gagging after like a week or two. It becomes not as shocking. Another tip is if you are worried about gagging, make sure you know what to do if the gagging turns into choking, that you know the difference between gagging and choking. For us, I knew that I wanted to do baby-led weaning actually while I was pregnant with Jude, so we hired someone to come over to our house and do like a personal CPR session with just me, Corey, and my mom. So it was very hands-on. She only had to pay attention to us three. She brought like a video, she brought mannequins. It was just very involved. It made us all more comfortable in doing baby-led weaning because if something were to go awry, we know what to do. And then the last con is that, and I kind of spoke about this, is that you do have to make some cooking variations. For example, if a baby's under 1 year old, you shouldn't season their food with salt, and you probably as an adult want salt on your food, so you have to kind of make the dish and then maybe salt your food afterwards. You have to do different knife cuts. So for example, I'm making tofu right now. Normal food is just for me and Corey. I make them into cubes, but I make them into little rectangles for Jude. Kind of all stuff like that. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but I know it is a con because it is a little bit of an extra step. But that is everything as far as pros and cons. As far as this video, I hope this video was helpful. I've had 2 people at least that I can remember request this video, and I said I was going to film a long time ago. I've said it in many videos that it was coming, so I'm really happy to finally get this video out. I will definitely be making more of these, especially as Jude continues to eat more, and just kind of seeing the transition between how you cut foods for different baby ages. I kind of wish I had filmed one of these videos when she was younger and eating like bigger chunks of food, but at that time she was only eating like 1 or 2 meals. I just didn't think it would be that helpful. You can definitely see some of her meals that she ate in like some of my vlogs if you want to see how she was eating when she was a little bit younger. But yeah, that's everything. So I hope this video is helpful and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me.